Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Eldiana Ardivi Jayanti, and here I want to present about initiating interaction in the classroom. To make a class feel alive, we should make the students to talk more or have interaction each other. So, we need interaction in class. The definition of interaction itself is the collaborative exchange of thoughts, feelings, or ideas between two or more people, resulting in reciprocal effect on each other. So when I have an opinion about some movie, and I have a small conversation with my friends, and one of them share their opinions too, that's mean we exchange our thoughts and ideas. So we have interaction. That's the definition of interaction. There are interactive principles. The first one is automaticity. When a human do interaction, their attention is towards the message and the meanings of the words, not on grammar or linguistic things. So the learner can easily process the word. So when try to make interaction, we do not think about the grammar or linguistic things. We just think about the meanings and the messages. Second, intrinsic motivation. There is a motivation of the students to use language to each other in speech. So they are taught each other use language. And the third is strategic investment. Strategies for know how to say or how to write or how to interpret language. So when we want to do interaction, so we have to think how we have to have strategies to know how to say or how to write or to interpret the words. Okay, the fourth is risk taking. The risk of failing to produce intended meaning. So there is a risk in interaction, such as fail to interpret the meaning of language. So we cannot send well what they mean or what I mean to the others. So the risk is being laughed at and stunned and rejected. The fifth is the language-culture connection. So in speech or writing, we have to know well about the cultures first. Then, so we have after that we have to know about the word that suit with our culture or not. Sixth, interlanguages. The complexity of language need acquisition that have a long time to develop. So the teacher should give their feedback that really make them develop faster than before. And the seventh is communicative competence. All the elements of languages have to work together, such as grammar, pronunciation, and else for making success, interaction, or communication. There are roles of the interactive teacher. So teacher do not have one role, but also many roles in the class. The first one is teacher as controller or the master control. So in the class, teacher must control the situation of the class that always chart of every moment in the classroom. That means the teachers should tell to the student what they have to do, what they have to say, and anything else. The second one is teacher as director. Some interactive classroom already been structured by the teacher, such as make a drama. The student will be directed by the teacher, so it will be smooth and efficiently. So the teacher have to give direction to the student what they gonna do to make to have a good result of it. Teacher as a manager. The teacher have to plan the lessons, the modules, and the course, but the teacher let the students to become creative with their own specialty. But the teacher also have to make the students still on their way to get the goal of the subject. The fourth is teacher as facilitator. This role described as facilitating the process of learning, of making the student learn the lesson easier. So in here, the teacher begin the guidance to help the students. The teacher as resource. Student takes initiative to come to you to ask for counsel or advice. So sometimes the teacher who make a lesson plan, module, or course just walk into classroom and say, what do you want to learn today? That makes the students can creative to process with their own linguistic by their own. So we don't have to push so hard. We can help them in the back so can more relax. Then this is foreign language interaction analysis, and this is the foreign language interaction model system that can make interaction in the class. There are two: direct influence and indirect influence. We can see that indirect influence is more focused on what the students wants, but direct influence is what the teacher wants. So we can see indirect influence deals with feelings, praises or encourage, uses ideas of student and asks questions. But direct influence is give information, gives direction, criticize student behavior, and criticize student response. So we can see that's different and more relaxed in direct influence when because in indirect influence the teacher just follow what the students wants and make them develop by their own. And this is the several response of student response specific, student response open-ended or student initiated, or maybe silence, confusion, laughter, use the native language, or nonverbal, use gestures. Then how is a model like this helpful in developing interactive language teaching? So there are several practical uses. The first, it gives you taxonomy for observing other teachers. So you can observing other teachers about their calculate how much classroom time, then wisdom of certain choice made by the teacher, then look at the distribution of time, then ask yourself or the teacher trainers, is it good distribution of time or not? Second, it gives you a framework for evaluating and improving your own teaching. So we have to know how to balance your talk with your student. The teacher should be dominant, but also we have to make some space for student to talk more. So we can let them have interaction. We can make them have a response with our talk, and we also have to evaluating about our talk, like, am I accepting a student's feeling in a non-threatening way, or am I offering sufficient praise? Am I lecturing too much? Do I give my students opportunities to initiate language on their own? So that question must be answered in your evaluating. Then the third is the Flint model. The first 7 categories helps to set the learning climate for interactive teaching. So there are the 7 first categories like deals with feelings, praises or encourage, use ideas of students, ask question gives information, gives direction, criticize students' behavior, and criticize student response. There are 7 categories that will help out to make interactive class. The most important key to creating an interactive language classroom is the initiation of interaction by the teacher. So one of the best way to develop the role of the teacher itself, the initiator of the interactions classroom, is by questioning strategies. So with the question can make the learner response more. So there are appropriate questioning in an interactive classroom can fulfill a number of different functions. The first is teacher question give the students the impetus and opportunity to produce language comfortably without having the risk initiating language themselves. So when the students want to start a conversation and when they want to start a topic, they do not have to scare about it because the teacher question will open the conversation and also open the topic. Then the second, teacher question can serve to initiate a chain reaction of students' interaction among themselves. With the teacher question, the student will give the reactions and the other student will give the reactions too. So it can make class more interactive. Then with the teacher question give the instructor immediate feedback about student comprehension. With the teacher question, the teacher can give immediate feedback. So when the student answer it not well, the teacher can give them immediate feedback. So give them advice, which one wrong and which one right. So the students know where is it wrong and right. The fourth is teacher question provides students opportunities to find out what they think by hearing what they say. When the teacher gives the question about their favorite movie or about what they're reading, the student will discover what their own opinion about the movie or about the books and give their reaction. That's mean they have self-discovery about what they think. There are many categories of question and typical classroom question words. The first, knowledge question. Enlisting factual answer, testing recall and recognition of information. Second is comprehension questions, interpreting and extrapolating. Third is application question, applying information heard or read to new situation. Fourth, inference question, forming conclusions that are not directly stated in the instructional materials. Fifth, analysis question, breaking down into parts, relating parts to the whole. Sixth, synthesis question, combining elements into a new pattern. Seventh, evaluation question, making a judgment of good and bad, right or wrong, according to some set of criteria and stating why. So this is the categories of question and typical classroom question words. Asking a lot of questions in your classroom will not by any means guarantee stimulation of interactions. Certain types of question may actually discourage interactive learning. Beware of the following. Too much class time and display question can make students feel bored. The question that insults student intelligence will bother them. Ambiguous question, too complex or wordy question, too many rhetorical question, and random question that's not logic. There are other teacher strategies that promote interactions. The first one is we have to make them pair or group work, then giving directions like open your book page, blah blah blah. Then organization language, such as get into small group, then directing to the students like just nod or praise them, then responding the students. The last one is encouraging the students. So with encouraging, it makes the students have motivation to learn more about languages. Okay, thank you. That's all for today. I'm so sorry if my explanation is not clear enough for you. Then wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I wait your questions.